John D. Alden welcomes you to 50 Plus Cinematographers Group. Hello, I'm John D. Alden. Welcome you to our JD's 50 Plus Cinematographers Group, direct from Toowong. Due to the hysteria at the moment that we might be hit by a meteor and we'll all blast off into wherever, I'm going to do this beforehand. Reading my notes here as I usually do, leaning up against the PC. The next meeting would be the 24th of March. 50 Plus have contacted a fair few of us, and it will at the moment reopen on Monday, I think it's the 20th of April, so it's a few weeks away. One of the things I've came across a year or so ago about the speed of video and the speech, the synchronization of the speech. And one movie, a commercial movie which I assembled with my usual advertisements and music and background and so forth, the sound in CHNL Live I couldn't get it high enough, even by trimming it up to whatever it was, 500% or something. So I then used Audacity to increase that sound. Here comes Lucky. Oh, Lucky. There you go. Say hello. To increase the volume of the sound, and I saved it as an MP3, and imported it back into CHNL Live. I made it so that the original sound was not sounding, and then I used that sound in starting at the beginning of the movie. But as time went on, it was an hour and a half or so movie, as time went on, the out of sync got greater and greater, and I think at the end it was something like, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds. So I had been doing a bit of reading about the type of sound format that you can have trouble with, and MP3 seems to be the one. So since then I was making or assembling another movie, An Evening with Edith Head. She was one of the main American women that designed the gowns and dresses and the men's coats and so forth in the movies of the 1940s, 1950s, 60s. And at the beginning I had my usual, I think, kookaburras, my logo, and then when I normally have the name of the movie and what it's about, and then there was another screen with some of the details, I think of about 2 or 3 minutes. So I had some organ music which I cut and just popped in there for that time, and it was an MP3. So eventually when I rendered the whole movie, when that music started to play, it was really quite so slow and low, slow, and the voice was out of sync about 1 or 2 seconds throughout the whole movie. It didn't vary, it was the same from start to finish. So I had another look on the internet, looking about MP3 and WAV, W-A-V. So I converted that piece of music to WAV and popped it in there instead of the MP3, and it was perfect. So just want to let you know that if you're using any sort of background music, or maybe even somebody talking, and if it's an MP3, it may give you trouble. So we really need to use a WAV, which has less, how I should have put it, junk in there, compression and so forth. So just a hint about that. Now I'll be showing that the difference between the two sounds later on. Another one about speed of a video, we often or we sometimes see in a newsreel or some part in a movie where everything goes very quick. You don't see them walking slowly. It's all very quick and it jumps, and you can get the idea of the whole picture. You don't need to see all the little slow pieces. Yes, Mary Tinney. Yeah, Mary Tinney. I've spoken to her on the phone a few days ago, and she downloaded a movie maker, and I think I might have mentioned it at the meeting. She did pay for it. Since then she's made a little movie. So Mary, if you have that at all, and if you know how to send it as an email, we don't need anything bigger than about 8 or 10 megabytes. If you don't know how to do that, well, this is what we for Mary Tinney about converting. To change the format of a particular file, whether it be video or sound, there are some very good converter applications. The one we use mainly is Format Factory. Another one is AVC, any video converter. So to convert your video file possibly to a smaller file in regards to megabytes or gigabytes, that's what we use as Format Factory. We have demonstrated that a few times, so we can talk about that another time. Occasionally. Yeah, okay, Lucky. Lucky's putting his bib in. Another thing about USBs, I have 4 or 5 USBs, 8 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte, which I put various movies on, some of the movies that I make. And one of them I've used for probably 3 or 4 years, and all of a sudden the other day it's faulty. Faulty USB thumb drive. Here's a photo of one. I think it's a 4 gigabyte USB thumb drive, and I've been using it on Windows and mainly Linux on a PC-25. I call my main internet computer, downloading lots of short files, newsreels, sound, MP3s and so forth, and text. Lots of files coming and going, writing and being deleted. Of course, one can have these sorts of files on hard drive, information recovered from them, but it just costs too much. It's just not worth it. It will not be recognised by Windows or Linux. It just can't recognise it. So just a warning that sooner or later USBs do become faulty. I'm back with an extra light here so that it might remove some of the shadow behind. When I was talking to Mary Tinney about Movie Maker, I asked her what the background looked like of Movie Maker. In other words, what we call the skin. She didn't understand what I meant, but I have shown this a few years ago, so I thought I'd do it again. And I've captured 3 screens. One of CHNL Live is what I use. Everything's fairly light grey, and a Pinnacle, Des and Rob used Pinnacle. In that particular version it's darker grey, but Movie Maker is very black. It seems to be the young ones like a black background. So that's all that's about, and I'll just show you the 3 images of those. skins are available on some software. You can change it to a darker one or a bluish one or a light grey. It depends on the software, but that's what it's about. Just makes it look different. I prefer to have the old-fashioned, I suppose, light coloured, my CHNL Live, which is a white background or very, very, very light grey. Audio format WAV, W-A-V, versus MP3. I inserted some music into a movie that I was assembling. First of all, you'll hear the music, organ music, how it should sound, and then the movie starts with my usual logo, and then you'll hear the organ music very slow and gradually. So it affected the rest of the movie, and within a minute or so you'll see where the mouth is talking and the no sound. In other words, the out of sync sound. And then a little bit further along is when a woman goes out through the doorway and shuts the door, and you'll hear the sound of the door shutting about 2 seconds later.
Thank you very much indeed for answering this request.
It's been a great pleasure, Mr. Baker.
And to you, Anna Mae Wilson in New Haven there, we saw a bit of Hollywood magic before our eyes because you asked for it.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Foley, it isn't there. You must have forgotten.
Oh, put. I wanted to do some shopping.
You'll get it Monday.
All right, Mr. Burnham.
This is just a little demo of about speeding up action video. Only about 2 minutes of Mari's award. So you see the first part as it normally is, and then the next piece is the fast speed. CHNL Live, there's 2 settings, 200 and I think 400. I just chose the longest setting just to show. You might be able to use this, want to use this somewhere at some time.
Marie Dalton. Dedicated and proactive member of Brisbane City Council's 50 Plus Seniors program. Over the past 21 years, Marie has organised and conducted the weekly 50 Plus ballroom dance program. Her unwavering commitment to help seniors is inspirational. Every week she welcomes everybody from beginners to advanced dancers to the dance program. And throughout the past 21 years, dances were never cancelled unless there were exceptional circumstances. On these occasions, She would always organise another person to run them. Not even thunderstorms could deter Marie from her commitment. In 2017, when high winds and torrential rains hit the city, she was there for anyone who dared brave the weather. No brave soul turned up for dancing that day, but Marie was ready if they had. And as she says, the show must go on. Rain, hail or shine. Congratulations.
It looks silly with me hobbling up here like that tonight.
And you're a dancer.
I'm a dancer, yes, I'm not brokenly. I have my husband to thank dearly for being able to do all these things, because I had 2 hips and a knee replacement in the last 10 years, plus breast cancer, and he has stood behind me and come in and run the dance for me on the days that I couldn't while I was in hospital. So I would say to anyone who feels that they can't do anything, you can do it if you want to. You come back, I've got 5 people over 90, and they all turned up today for the first day back this year, and they're all on the dance floor. I wasn't able to dance, but they were. So don't give up. Thank you.
Marie about that. She's going to have a knee replacement soon, and she said to me, when I get my knee better, I'm going to go and dance.
Yes.
So I'm going to call you up.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I love these stories that we're hearing tonight. How fantastic. I just love it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the next achievement we
So this is just over 18 minutes in length or duration, and it's the first attempt at doing something like this. You'll find my YouTube channel URL address right at the beginning. Fred was good enough to make a suggestion using teleconferencing, but it means installing software and fiddling around, and probably another 10 or 20 mouse clicks, and I don't think people will be wanting to do that, and you need to all be at the place at the same time which is what we do at our meetings and in the 50 plus. But anyway, let me know how you feel about this, and if you want to contribute some way or other, please let me know. So today is Friday, a few days before next Tuesday, so I'll upload it in the next day or so. Okay, the meeting is now declared closed. Thank you.